Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to the club. This is another club face-off brought to you by Super 6. And this is for a big, big game for the bragging rights of London. Chelsea against Arsenal. And we've got two heavyweights from their fan bases. We've got Rory Jennings of the club, of course, here to represent Chelsea. And we've got Miles Fearon from Filthy Fellas to represent Arsenal. It is going down like James Brown, baby. Now, we've got some key questions that we need you two to battle over. And the first one is, who will win a league first? Now, this sounds kind of stupid when you look at the form that both clubs are in. But Man City are about. So they might not win a league while they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Who is going to win the league next? Chelsea or Arsenal? Over to you.
I think it's Arsenal. I think we're well equipped. I think the trajectory we're on, we've got the better manager. Our players, we haven't bought a bunch of players just to say, okay, make it fit and make it work. You're going to play here and you're going to play there. We've got a proper team, proper squad. Our fan base is all together. We're all on the same page, all singing from the same hymn sheet. I think it's Arsenal. I think it's down to us just to go and do it now. I don't look at Chelsea as a threat as of winning the Premier League anytime soon. I think they had their time, their era, I think is past. And I think it's Arsenal, man.
I think a lot of what Miles has said there is true. I think it's very difficult for me to argue that as things stand, looking at the teams, Arsenal are in a better position. I think the problem that Arsenal may have is that in this era that they're having, they aren't the best team. So they probably won't win a league. And history has taught us that Chelsea are far more likely to win silverware than Arsenal. Like, Arsenal haven't won a title for 20 years. Like, they've gone 2 decades without a league. Since they moved to the Emirates, they have never been champions. Chelsea, on the other hand, however badly it's gone, however poor things have been, we are the most successful club over the past 2 decades. We are a team that have a tendency to win Premier League titles even when you write us off. You know, we finish 10th, things go wrong, we sack our manager, we bounce back the following season and win the league. We've very recently, by modern day standards, won a double. So as much as I concede, Miles is correct, Arsenal are a better team at the moment, and therefore the natural assumption is they're the team to win the league next. I think it's a bit more complex than that.
It's also very likely they don't do it.
Everything
therefore,
opens
if
the
this
door.
team changes and then
Everything
Chelsea's
Rory
team
said
improves.
is true. Over 20 years, they've been successful, and Arsenal hasn't won a championship for the past 20 years. But the key factor to that was the Abramovich era, and things were run different around that time. If he wasn't good, we all know Chelsea managers, you'll get sacked, you're out.
Yeah.
And you'll buy the best players. And you was one of the hard, heavy spenders. Not everybody spends money now. Not everybody wants to go to Chelsea and get that big check because there's other clubs around you that can provide that. So I don't think...
What did you make of their spending in the summer? When we
Sporadic.
You just mentioned going after players, like Liverpool were after some big players.
One
They
word,
go and take
one
them.
word, Adam, sporadic. That club's going after that big player. He must be good. Let's get him. He must be good. Let's get them. They didn't buy what they actually needed. Yeah. They needed a striker and they didn't do it. They got some guy called Jackson we don't know about. He might hit the ground running. He might not. But they needed to buy for the now if they wanted to, regarding that position anyway. I think they're always going to spend money. It's Chelsea. They've got money, but they've done it wrong.
Yeah, the ownership is a good point. The fact that it's not Abramovich anymore. Abramovich's Chelsea would win the league before this Arsenal team, definitely. This new era of Chelsea, this ownership, I'm not convinced, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure that their intention is to win the league. Like, I think Arsenal are set up, whether they win the league or not, the point and purpose of the club is to win the league. Arteta has been brought in to win the league. He's signing players such as Declan Rice with the obvious intention to win the league. If you look at Chelsea's spending, even though we spent a lot of money, we're not signing players to win you the league today. That could change, but we're signing players who will develop. We're signing players whose value will increase, and therefore the value of the club will increase. And I think that's the motivation. However, Arsenal, although they're looking good, if they don't win the league in this era, which
By this era, you mean the Arteta?
the
kind of
Arteta,
era?
I think they've
the
probably,
reign.
I think
Arteta
they've
reign.
probably got now. If you look at the players they've got, Rice, Saka, Martinelli, they've got some of the best young talent in the league. I'd say they probably have a window of about 4 years
I'd say
with
that.
those players
I'll
to
say
win
that.
the league.
Yeah.
Before those players, like if Saka hasn't won a league at Arsenal in 4 years' time, I think he's probably playing for Real Madrid,
Yeah, most of them will
City
probably
or
start looking
City
away.
or whatever. Yeah. So they have a shelf life. Whereas with Chelsea, I don't think it's as simple as that.
And Chelsea's owners seem to be chucking the money at the
The
problem.
money
which
is being spent.
you feel eventually that's going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Because, like you said, if you buy the best players, and you're going to get good results. But it's their infrastructure.
It's been close. This is the closest. Having this conversation today in 2023.
Closest
Miles
been
is
in a
very
long
fortunate,
time.
that we're not
In
having this
20 years.
conversation. Yeah, exactly. Like if we were having this conversation in 2009, it's a one-way traffic. Whereas now, I feel like I'm on the back foot, really. I think Arsenal are...
Yeah, but that's because of
They're
form,
better
right?
plays. They're better plays. They've got better
I don't
players.
think it's
They're
form,
better run.
Adam. I don't think it's form. I just think it's where they are as a club and where they're at. I think
Yeah.
they're on a hard reset, and I think we've been there. Arsenal's been there for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
So now finally we've got our owners of getting their stuff
But
together.
The one thing, look, you could win the league this season.
Yeah,
I look very
who
wrong.
knows? Who knows?
But you could equally as likely sack Arteta in a year or two. And then things are looking very different.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
facts,
And then you're
facts.
like, now we have to reset.
Do you know what could happen
Whereas-
to Arsenal? Is it happened to Liverpool. Liverpool got their one league title, don't get me wrong. But the team that they built, in the end, was quite lucky to get one title. It was a team worthy of 5 league titles. Probably the best Liverpool team that was ever built. Better than the Liverpool team that dominated in the 80s with Hansen and that. But this era, the team they built was better than that, but it only had one league title because they're up against Man City.
Yeah.
That team was worthy of more in a way that your team might be worthy of more. But because of the brilliance of City and because of the brilliance of Guardiola, it might not come. And if it doesn't come, surely then the rebuild then becomes yours.
Yeah.
And then it's us on the front foot.
Right. So we're trying to, when we try to talk about who will win the league first, we're kind of predict the future. So let's talk about the here and now.
Oh, do we?
Yeah,
How
we-
many
yeah, we
Chelsea
do.
players, and again, you could make an argument, take them out of these situations, they'll be better players. How many Chelsea players would get into Arsenal's starting 11? Would you take anyone from the current Chelsea squad in your 11?
I'll be taking everybody's fit. We
In your 11, everyone's fit.
Everyone's fit. I'll take their right back, Reece James.
There's literally no one. This is mental, but there's literally no one.
I'll take
Not
Reece
even
James.
Reece James.
Not really. He's never fit. It's all very well.
Who would Reece James be?
Ben White.
Ben White. because he's the more natural right back, and
Yeah.
I think defensively he's great. He can
I
do what
kind of
he
agree
does.
with
He
that.
does what.
Reece James'
Ben-
ceiling is far higher than Ben
Ben
White's
White, yeah.
ceiling as a right back.
Yeah,
But
100%.
Ben White had a far better season than Reece James last year. Far better.
Yeah, but
Based off injury,
if they're
though,
both, but yeah, based off injury.
But you have to factor that in, don't you?
Yeah,
When you
spot on.
when you judge how good a player
Availability is part of...
is, being available for your manager is part of being a good player.
Yeah, but that's why I said if they're both fully fit, if we got both,
Yeah.
and in a
Both fully
perfect
fit,
world, both
non-negotiable.
fully world, I'm going for Reece James because he's for me, I think he's one of the best, if not the best right back in the world. If he's fully fit,
all round,
Yeah, all round.
possibly.
So-
Both fully fit, it's James, but Reece James is almost never fully fit, and Ben White's having the period of his life, so it's hard to argue that. The only other one I would argue, but Gabriel, you know how we always talk about Saliba? I don't think Gabriel gets the plaudits he deserves.
Yeah.
The case I could make, but I'm not going to, but I could potentially, particularly if this was maybe last season, you go Thiago Silva over Gabriel, maybe.
we had this discussion on Filthy, and I don't think Gabriel is even top 10 in the league now.
I think he's a good player, mate.
Not
he's-
top
no.
10, though.
I think he's a
No, I don't
really
think he's
good
top
player.
10. He's a great player,
But he's got
great.
an error in him. A huge error.
And he's getting
And I
older.
think at times
Yeah.
last season he did...
He's getting older,
cause
Adam.
problems for you.
Mate, I don't know, when I think we talk about Saliba in such glowing terms, and rightly so. But I think Gabriel kind of doesn't get any of the credit that he deserves. But maybe I could argue Thiago Silva over Gabriel. It sounds
Maybe.
like you potentially think that. I know
I
you're
feel
neutral here, but
I think Raheem Sterling would get into Arsenal's front three.
It's not right.
and obviously not in the Saka position.
Could be on Martinelli's
No
side.
way.
Could be on
No
Saka's
way.
side.
No way.
I think Sterling gets into Arsenal's 11.
No, he doesn't.
Hang on,
He
let me
doesn't.
really think about this.
He doesn't.
Like,
No way. No
Trossard
no
sometimes,
fullback is scared of Sterling. They're not.
I
Not
disagree
the way
with
they're
that,
scared of Martinelli.
man.
Not the way they're scared of Martinelli and Saka.
Sterling
Sterling doesn't get doubled up on.
season in, season out for a long time.
That-
yeah.
Yes.
And if we were having a conversation in 2020, you'd be right.
Yeah. And 2020,
Well, I still think
19,
he's
18.
Chelsea's best player.
That-
Look, you two
that-
can decide
no,
this. I'm
that's-
not part of this
No,
argument.
I mean, he is possibly. He's one of Chelsea's. He's certainly Chelsea's most experienced player. Thiago Silva's side. He's
I'm not-
certainly Chelsea's most decorated English in English medals.
I think he's
But
your most influential. When he plays well, Chelsea play well. When I've seen him.
But when
I don't see them as much.
when
as
Saka
you.
plays well, what happens with Arsenal? It's
Of course.
unplayable.
But you know what the thing
Martinelli,
is? Saka's playing for a
unplayable.
very good team.
I think Martinelli's brilliant as well.
Yeah, but
That's the
in-
problem.
Martinelli's
I
amazing.
think
No,
he's
if you're
brilliant.
talking about
I'm
prime
not
Sterling,
criticising him here.
yeah, prime Sterling,
Yeah.
we got an argument.
Prime
But right
Sterling-
now,
Prime
Saka
Sterling, I
is
think it is Sterling.
Saka
unless somebody
arguably is one of the best wingers in the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Arguably.
Saka's potential Ballon d'Or winner in the next
Come
sort
on,
of
man.
decade.
Come on.
Let's say, all right.
I'm not
Let's
even
say
trying to be-
Pep had Saka, Sterling, and Martinelli.
Saka.
You think Sterling don't
Saka.
start?
No,
No, but we're saying you pick two.
Yeah, he
Saka
I
and
mean, he got
Martinelli.
rid of Sterling.
Yeah. Saka and Martinelli.
He's,
And I'm not even trying to be biased here, yeah? I'm really sitting here thinking,
is there anyone in midfield? Could you potentially go?
I'm thinking-
Could you potentially go Moises Caicedo? No.
Not over Declan Rice or
Enzo
Thomas
Fernandez over.
Partey. Odegaard, no.
You could put them next to Rice, though.
What's the best three you've got?
Odegaard, Partey,
Like,
and Rice.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
It's
and
crazy.
They
I
all
think
get an
Enzo's
RT.
better than Partey, though.
In
Different
a,
roles.
In a 6.
No, but you've got Rice there next to him.
Partey's wicked.
Partey will
So if
play
you
the
then
6.
go Rice, Enzo.
But that's what we have, though. It's not my fault. That's what we have. That's our midfield.
Yeah.
And none of they can't get in.
If
then
their
Enzo's
midfield-
got a chance.
If their
Enzo's got a
midfield
chance,
has
if
to
anything.
be, if their midfield is, say it was Xhaka still, I think you could then go Enzo Fernandez over Xhaka.
Yeah.
I think you could and say they have to play Kai Havertz there.
right back.
They play Partey at right back to accommodate Havertz, but these things happen. Michael Essien played at right back for Chelsea once.
No,
you know what I mean?
I'm not. That's not a criticism, but he's not playing in midfield now because you've moved in Havertz. There.
I think I just can't say that Enzo Fernandez is a better player than Thomas Partey.
He's not. Not in a 6. Partey is one of the
I don't
best
think
in the
it's
league.
that far apart, you know.
Come on, man.
I know Partey has done it Atletico Madrid, Arsenal, a bit longer. But I think Enzo Fernandez is a very, very
Okay,
good
if we,
player.
I'd
I
say
mean, you look at what he's been doing at Chelsea in a very poor team. He's been doing.
okay.
good.
Just to be fair, okay, I'll take if Thomas Partey wasn't in this argument, I'll take him out and put Rice in the 6, and then I'll put Enzo in the 8, and then Odegaard in the 10.
Odegaard definitely
Yeah.
starts.
So if I was to take one of them out, I'll put Rice in the 6.
Yeah.
Because
It's
I can't
it's
leave Rice
the
out.
midfield that Arsenal
Now,
start.
Rice don't get left out.
The
That-
midfield,
I'll
the
listen.
midfield that Arsenal start is Partey. Is Partey, Rice, Odegaard. No Chelsea play breaks that up.
Yeah, none.
Yeah.
There just isn't. I mean, I'd love to make the case. I feel like this is like a very defeatist video and probably quite infuriating for Chelsea fans. But I think it would be mental for me.
Right. I'm going to give you a chance to shine.
Come on then.
Which club's bigger overall?
So, mate, it's us. Overall, I think there's a case for it to be Chelsea. If you look worldwide, I think there is an argument for it to be Chelsea. My experience, my life, the answer is Arsenal.
But you've grown up with Arsenal being the bigger team, and
I've grown up with Arsenal being a bigger team. I'm from an Arsenal
watched
area.
your team take them over, right?
I think the
Over the
journey,
last 20 years, at
the
least.
journey. I think is this. I think to do this as fairly as possible. I think the journey is this. When I was a kid, Arsenal the biggest club in London, undoubtedly. Like there wasn't a conversation. You wouldn't have put this.
No,
on
everyone's
the
agreeing,
You wouldn't
yeah.
have put this on the table. Like it wouldn't be a debate.
Yeah, yeah.
The fact that it's now a debate is because of what Chelsea have done over the past 25
20
years.
years.
Yeah. So when I was a kid growing up, it was Arsenal, and it was Arsenal when Chelsea were down here. Like Chelsea weren't comparable.
You're a cup team.
What's happened, if that? We went 25 years without a trophy. What's happened over the past, say post 94, we lost the cup final in 94 and things changed. And it culminated in Wayne Bridge scoring a goal at Highbury to stop them. They were unbeaten. They won the league. They were unbeaten, and they would have won the Champions League that year. Wayne Bridge scored to stop. Played a 1-2 with Crespo, and that was that. And from then, the gap, they struggled. They went a decade without a trophy, and Chelsea were winning European Cups twice and beating them in a European final, which is significant.
Cups count for a lot.
Completely. And that's why I think we're now debating it. I think worldwide, biggest club, whatever your definition of that is, I think there is an argument for it to be Chelsea. But my
especially think
experience,
as well,
which is the most important thing for me talking, my experience is Arsenal.
He said all that just to say Arsenal.
No, but because
No, but I
he's
can't-
more old school and he's been going football
Rory,
in the
you know.
90s and the, you know.
What I don't know, and what
Early
I know
90s.
is Chelsea. What I know is Arsenal. What I don't know is what goes on a worldwide. Like,
And I think when you
know,
look at the fan bases and you look at
who's
Chelsea,
bigger, who's
Chelsea's successful period, and look, I know Arsenal's fan base is huge, massive, so I'm not saying they're not. But Chelsea had like all these huge African players, made them massive in Africa. They win the European Cups. They do all those things. You have the likes of Hazard who brings in Mourinho. That gives another factor. Like, I think Chelsea possibly have overtaken Arsenal.
What we don't
No.
have,
No, they haven't.
the stature of the club
I'll
could be
tell you
bigger.
why as well.
What we don't have, Arsenal have more fans. Arsenal
Got no fans.
have a bigger fan. Arsenal have a bigger fan base.
Got no
I don't know
crowd.
if that equates to a bigger club, but they definitely have. They don't have. So Premier League era, Chelsea are far more successful. Chelsea's trophy haul is far greater. Chelsea have also closed the gap. We've won 2 European Cups. They've won none. We beat them in a European final in Baku. I don't think that's spoken about enough. The first time it's been an all-London European final. They got demolished.
And we're still the bigger club.
That's historic.
And we're still the bigger club,
I don't
Adam.
know if you are, though.
Adam, listen. Over the 20 years, granted, yes, they've been successful. They've been bigger than everybody. I think everybody in the Premier League era, you've been the most successful club.
Successful over 20 years.
20 years, that's fine. And that's, hands up. Great achievement. But when it comes to the all-round, we're looking at the all-round picture. We've won more trophies than you. When it comes to the all-round picture, we're the third biggest club successfully, and that's a fact in the country, other than Manchester United and Liverpool. We've got a bigger fan base than Chelsea.
But you would never swap. You know all that you're talking about.
But it's my history.
Baston, but Cliff Baston and all that, you've got that. Don't get me wrong, you've got that. But
Cliff Baston, why is he bringing it there?
Well, no, that's what you're talking about, that era.
Yeah, but
right?
but that makes the club,
But
though.
what we've done and what people today have lived is...
Modern day success.
So we've seen league title after league title. We've seen European Cup after European Cup.
We're going to just disregard all the people from Cliff Baston's era. They don't count anymore.
No, but
because they saw us win 13.
But this is sounding very
10.
Tottenham. This is sounding very. We're a big club because my great granddad saw us win the league.
Yeah, but I've seen my team win the Premier League. I've seen my team.
You've got
win
to have
the
a good
double.
memory, though.
No,
You've not seen your team win a European Cup.
I haven't. Unfortunately, I haven't.
Or a European trophy.
I haven't, but that could come. But I'm
counting
just
the Cup Winners' Cup.
no, I'm not counting that. But I'm just saying that you winning the Champions League twice, which is a great achievement, doesn't define how big you are as an all-round
You would
club.
swap.
But it makes a big difference.
Because Nottingham Forest is not bigger than us.
You would swap
They're not.
You would swap with me.
But no, I wouldn't.
I've lived it better.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
swap with you.
We've lived it better.
I wouldn't swap with you.
You would
I
swap.
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
You would swap.
I'd swap.
You've witnessed a couple of FA Cups.
I've seen 2 European Cups.
You've witnessed a couple of FA Cups.
I would. Yeah,
You've witnessed
and the
a
Premier
couple.
League.
You've witnessed
and
a
the
couple.
Premier League.
Yeah, but you've got to have a mate. You would have been a child. You'd have been a child.
But I remember it though.
You'd have
I
been
do
a child.
remember it. I was there. I
Anders
remember it.
Limpar and all that. You'd have been a kid.
No. The Invincibles. I remember
Yeah,
this.
mate.
This is great history.
You had your school tie on that.
Yeah.
Maybe so.
You had to go homework club before the game.
You would swap. You would swap with whether you're bigger or not. You would swap with me.
Nah, I would have swapped my. No, I wouldn't.
You would have
I'd
to
trade you
swap.
2 FA Cups for Champions League.
No.
You swap every FA Cup you've ever won for a European Cup.
Hell no, we've won that the most. That's a big cup. I hold that cup in high regard.
I don't
It's a
think we're
massive
going
cup.
to decide who the big club
And
is.
we've got the
yet.
bigger fan base. And for one more last thing, when Chelsea lose and they're on a downhill spiral and they're losing every week, no one speaks about it. Arsenal lose 2 games, the whole world's up in.
I would disagree that people don't speak about it. You should see my ads.
No one cares.
It's actually a good point.
No one cares when Chelsea's on a bad dip.
But I think that's because
they're not a big
more
club.
of your fans are just annoying.
But
everyone
Adam,
wants to tell them to
but Adam,
get as
whatever
soon as
it
they
may-
get a chance.
But whatever it may be, Arsenal we haven't won anything for 20 years. We've still been relevant. We're still here. And when Arsenal lose,
You had a period of irrelevance.
as regarding winning the Prem,
This ain't
but we
gonna
still won
stop.
trophies though.
But listen, Rory, why will Chelsea beat Arsenal in this game? You're at home. New manager.
Mate, why are you-
We've ever
He's
broken that.
Tottenham. They're Arsenal.
We've even broken that hoodoo. We couldn't beat them at Stamford Bridge for years. We've destroyed that
Van
now.
Persie, wasn't it?
Well, that was a big game.
5. Halloween night that was.
Was it?
I was with my girlfriend. She was dressed as a pumpkin.
Oh, nice. What was I doing?
You remember, innit? Well, on the Fulham Road. I went to the game.
I was dressed as Buvey that night.
in his sunglasses at a poker table. Why will Chelsea beat Arsenal, mate? Why? I don't know. Because I hope that it happens. It's very. It's so. Look, Arsenal are on fire. They've had an amazing victory against Man City. It feel like a statement victory. Off the back of what they did to Man United. Yeah, we could. We're on a bit of form. Pochettino over Arteta. Pochettino with something to prove because of his former Tottenham thing. I'm struggling here, mate.
Why will Arsenal beat Chelsea?
I just think that we've gotten over that hoodoo. Like I said, we went to their ground last year. Nice, easy.
I think it was one of your best performances of the
Easy
season.
performance,
People don't
yeah.
talk about it. You beat us 3-1 away, and everyone
But it
the
was back and
1-0 at
forth.
home was
Yeah.
the 1-0 at home
It was
was
very
like we
controlled.
couldn't get the ball off you. Yeah.
Very controlled. I think that we're a better team now than we was last season. I'm not disregarding Chelsea. They're a very good team. They could beat anybody on their day. Liverpool struggles to beat even when they was on their top form. It's Stamford Bridge is hard to go to, but I think we'll get the result. I think we'll get it done. We're very good from home, away from home. Our record away from home is better than it is at the Emirates.
And we've lost to Forest and Villa at home already. Do you see why it's difficult for me?
And I think the players are just going to see okay, Chelsea's a good team, but we're on a different mission to them. They're doing what they're doing, trying to get into top 4, Europe. We're going for
Does
the
form
league.
go out the window? I know it's a cliche. Does it not go out the window in these games?
Not with this derby. When it's Tottenham and Arsenal, yes. Not with
I
this
don't
derby.
think it goes out really.
No, it's not.
Hard,
it
isn't
doesn't. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Because they're not where they used to be. So
No.
I don't think even the matches even
But
that.
they have got like this could be like, you know, if you're Poch, you go to your dressing room.
Yeah, this changes
This
the
is
season.
the game where it all
yeah.
clicks.
This
Oh, of
changes.
course,
This changes the
This
season.
changes our season if
Yeah.
we win this.
Of course.
And you never know what can happen. But yeah, it is looking like Arsenal are the favourites. Who knows though? We will be live for Chelsea versus Arsenal on the club from 5 p.m. this weekend. So make sure you are subscribing to the club. Thank you to Miles for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to Phil Fellas.
happy.
Follow him at Mileage UK on all his socials. Thank you to Rory as well. Quick score prediction before we go. Go.
2-0.
1-0.
Confident, Raw?
That is me being confident.
Thank you for tuning in. See you in a bit.